Hey y'all, I'm back with part 1 of my July 2025 reading wrap up, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Books with Kimberly. Don't forget to like, comment, share my channel, and subscribe. Y'all, I have missed y'all in my booktube channel. I have been in a reading slump, but I do feel like I'm slowly getting out of it. Today I even finished a book. So I'm here to talk about the books that I finished so far in the month of July. And I also want to go over some of the books that I am currently reading as well and hoping to finish in the next few days and come back and talk to you guys about those books in part 2. Let's start off with some books that I finished in June. I had a couple days left in June and I was still in my reading slump heavy. So I only finished 2 short audio books. The first one was The Billionaire's Belle by Beloved. This was my first book reading by Beloved. I did enjoy this short listen and I do want to read more from this author. This book was about a secretary who comes from a rich family, but she starts working for this billionaire who has a crush on her. They work together for 2 years, but it isn't until after these 2 years that they finally decide to start dating, and he's buying her fabulous things, and there's drama with the ex and him taking up for her. So there was a lot of elements that I liked in this story. Of course, a man spending all his money on a beautiful woman is always gonna get me. So I really did enjoy this story and again want to read more from this author. I gave this book 4 stars. The last book that I finished in the month of June was Embraced by Maya. So this gave me a total of 4 books read in the month of June. Embraced by Maya is a part of the Arranged Heart series. I think this was the first book I read in that series and I thought it was really cute. Last month, I said the wrong book that I was currently reading, but it really was Embraced by Maya, which is a really cute story. It's a friends to lovers story. You have Arranged Hearts, which is this matchmaking service, and the matchmaker decides that these 2 best friends who decided to both be arranged in marriages at the same time to support each other through it, they're being matched to be married to one another. And it's a surprise to them, but it makes sense to everyone else in their world. So seeing them transition was really good. I do feel like I wanted just a little bit more, but this was like a shorter story, so I understand why I didn't get as much as I would have wanted. I thought this was a cute book and it definitely opened me up to wanting to read more in this series. So now let's get into the books that I've read so far in the month of July. I decided to continue with the Arranged Heart series because I was enjoying it so much. The next book was Tension by Monet. This book was a lot more like a full-length novel. I believe you do not have to read these in a particular order. They aren't interconnected, which I like because I really don't know the order. So I just kind of choose which one that I want to read. Tension was a pretty good story. These 2 did not know each other. I like that this story was about Dakota and Mariah, and their journey to love wasn't as easy. Mariah had troubles with like letting go and submitting to Dakota, who loved to make decisions for her. We're going to move into my house. We're going to do this. You need to be driving this car. And so both of them coming together, it was a bit of a struggle. There were some exes that came into play, so there was a little drama there. Overall, I thought this was a pretty good one and I gave it 4 stars. My next read was another Arranged Hearts book, and that is Passion by Monica Walters. This one was about Giselle King and Gentry Fleming. This one was very different because Giselle came into the relationship with 2 kids from her best friend who they decided they didn't want to be together romantically, but they did want to raise children together because she did not want to continue waiting. Gentry is a veterinarian, so the 2 of them come together and have instant chemistry and connection. But the father of her children, her best friend, he is very upset that Giselle was not transparent about getting married to Gentry. I do feel like because the main focus was her being a mom, I do feel like it took away from the romance. And her and Gentry had a lot of chemistry, honey. It started from that wedding, at the reception, if you know what I'm hinting to. So I just really wanted to see the sparks and the relationship between them. But I do feel like this plot of the children, even though it was very interesting, it did take away a little bit from the romance to me. So I give this one 4 stars. My next 2 reads are by Beverly Jenkins. For some reason, I wanted a little historical romance, so I knew exactly who to go to, and that was Beverly Jenkins. Shout out to my aunt. Beverly Jenkins is literally one of her favorite authors, so she's probably read these 2 books. The first one is Midnight by Beverly Jenkins. I really did like this story. It took place in Boston. There was this war going on between the British and the rebels that were forming together to have this group of Minutemen, and I was enjoying the history. But the main characters of this story are Faith and Nicholas, and so Faith works at her father's hotel. There are a lot of British soldiers that stay in this hotel. In comes Nicholas, who is hoping to come home to Boston and reunite with his father and work on their relationship. But unfortunately, his father was ratted out to the British soldiers, and his father passed away. And he's in search for Lady Midnight, hoping that she has answers to what happened. So him and Faith kindle this beautiful relationship. Her father is a horrible person. He takes her for granted and does not treat her like she should be treated. And so I love that Nicholas is there, really showing her support, kindness, and the 2 of them definitely have a spark. I gave this one 4 stars. I would have loved a lot more romance. I do feel like the focus was on the war brewing between the rebels and the British Army. I would have really enjoyed more scenes and just more focus on the relationship brewing between Nicholas and Faith. But I really did enjoy this one. So my next read was Destiny's Embrace by Beverly Jenkins. This was another good one. I really enjoyed the main character, Mariah. So Mariah is being raised with her mother, who is a seamstress and owns a seamstress shop. Mariah's mother treats her horribly. She overworks her. She speaks badly to her and lets others speak badly on her. So finally, Mariah has enough and goes to her aunt to live. And while she's there, her aunt sees an ad about a maid that is needed at a home in California. So she convinces Mariah to go ahead and take the train, go there, and become the maid of this guy named Logan. When she gets there, her and Logan immediately are bumping heads, but there of course is an attraction there. And so I thought this story was really good. I did enjoy the banter between Mariah and Logan. I give it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. My only critique is that the timing of this story was very quick. I just would have liked a little bit more yearning. I would have liked a little bit more time to pass of her being a maid in Logan's home before this relationship started. Literally within 1 or 2 weeks, the 2 of them were having their romantic moments. But I really did enjoy this book. And last book that I finished literally this morning is Rome by Great Huffington. This series is about the Childers siblings, and Rome is the youngest. She is the ballerina. She is the heart of the family. She also has this sense of discernment when it comes to people. She's been having these vivid dreams since she was young of who her soon-to-be husband is, and she has been saving herself for literally the man of her dreams. And so we find out in this story that Saint Debaco, who is an NBA player, is the man of her dreams. And when the 2 of them meet, there's an instant connection. He is engaged to marry his best friend, but Rome lets him know, look, you are mine. You are meant to be mine. We have been together in lifetimes before. We are meant to be together in this lifetime and the lifetimes afterwards, but this cannot start until you are not engaged. And honey, Saint did what he needed to do. He got unengaged, okay? He broke things off with Eliza, and he was there for Rome, ready to sweep her off her feet and show her that he is truly the man of her dreams. I really love the premise of this book. The romantic elements were there. Because their relationship was written in the stars, I feel like there wasn't this hesitancy to really speak about the two of them being ready to get engaged, start a family, live this happily ever after, really love one another. So the love and the intentionality between Saint and Rome was absolutely there. The only thing is, Rome was just such a perfect character. She's this ballerina who is perfect at her craft. As a sibling, she's been protected and put on this high pedestal as this little porcelain doll that's never been touched and has to always be protected. She literally goes nowhere without two bodyguards. So she has just been protected and put on this very high pedestal, and I just would have loved to see more flaws from this character. I will say that maybe towards the end you see a little bit of that, but I just really love a flawed female character. And even if there aren't any just blatant flaws with the character, I want to see some humanization of my main female character. And I just feel like she just feels so unreal, like this perfect little doll from a dream. Like everything that happened, she knew about it. She anticipated it because of this discernment, because of her dreams. Nothing surprised her. She was like this all-knowing being. I don't know. I wanted more from Rome. I wanted to get to know her more, get to know who she is outside of this family of being this perfect little ballerina. And I feel like that is what really would have sold me on this book. I love the relationship between her and Saint. The romantic moments were there. Saint said he not letting up off her, and y'all know that is my new favorite micro trope. I thought it was just when the main female character says it, but I love it when the main male character says it too. And Saint said it proudly. He is not coming up off her, and it gave me everything I needed. So I'm definitely giving this book 4 stars. Let's get into my current reads that I literally started this weekend. The first one is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. I have been missing Tiffany D. Jackson's work, so I was super excited that she came out with Blood in the Water. That released this month. When I saw some of the creators on BookTok and Bookstagram showing their promotion boxes for Blood in the Water, I noticed that it was a Scholastics book, which brought me back to the book fairs of my elementary years. And I was like, is this book not YA or adult? Or I guess YA. Every book I've read by Tiffany D. Jackson has been young adult. This book is in fact middle grade. And so that does put a little damper on my excitement. Do I believe she can still knock it out of the park? Absolutely. But I barely have been wanting to read YA. So the fact that this is a middle grade book, I'm not as excited anymore. I started listening to it because I did find the audiobook on Hoopla. It's only 4 hours, which that was another thing to me. I'm like, since when does Tiffany D. Jackson have a 4-hour book? But it is middle grade. It's 4 hours. The main character is under the age of 14, but I still plan on listening to it since it's only 4 hours. The other book that I'm currently listening to is Vicious Bonds by Shanora Williams. I have been wanting some black fantasy real bad, and I have been seeing this book recommended a lot. I am interested in it. It starts off really good from what I've listened to. I like it. So far what I'm getting is this about the main character Willow. And Willow was hearing this man's voice in her head, and he was hearing her voice. And all of a sudden one night she's in her room. There is this purple haze that comes across her ceiling, and it lifts her into the sky, and poof, she's in another world with the main male character Caspian, and he goes by Kaz, and he lives in this castle, and they're trying to figure out why they can hear each other in each other's minds. Right now there's still this tension of like, who is this woman? Why did she come out of nowhere? How do I get rid of her from Kaz? And Willow is trying to figure out how to get back home. Love the premise. think this is an interesting story. My only thing is I wanted more descriptions of characters and more world building, but I think this is actually romantasy, so it definitely makes sense of why there isn't a lot of world building. I thought this was strictly fantasy with a romantic subplot, but I think this is through and through a romantasy book. And nothing is wrong with that. It's just I wanted something very high fantasy. But I'm still excited and interested in this book by Shanora Williams. So I'll get back with y'all and let y'all know my final rating of this one. Y'all, that's it for the books that I read in June, the books I finished already in the month of July, and my current reads. Get down in those comments and let me know what books you are currently reading. And thank you again for tuning in to a Books with Kimberly video.